afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. We want to thank you all for joining us, and most importantly, come on, you guys at home now can probably recite this. We want to thank you all for staying home and keeping everybody safe. So today is Tuesday, and it is a beautiful day outside. What's the temperature out today, Matt?
17 degrees, they were saying.
17 degrees. All right, so we're trying to get outside as much as we can this week with being such a nice week, and we have something educational again for you today. So yesterday we did our tire change, flat tire demonstration, okay, and today the boys have something again educational for you at home, and we're trying to get these educational videos out of the way so we can have some fun later on in the week with the burnout. So we just wanted to bring up one thing. If there's something really cool that you guys would love to see at the car dealership, something we haven't shown yet, we'd love you to leave a comments in the comments section, and we'd love to show it to you. So anything, if you want to see the tire machine again, if you want to see hoist a car, if you want to see the body shop do something fun, anything that you want to see, we would love to hear from you, and we'd love to try and put a video together for you. So today we're here with Frank, one of our sales professionals, and we are here with Matthew, and everybody knows Matthew, the star of the show. All right, so Matthew, what are we going to be doing today?
Today, Mike, we're going to show people how to boost a vehicle or jumpstart a vehicle using the booster pack and the jumper cables that we have in front of us here.
All right, so did everybody hear that? We're going to be boosting a vehicle for you today. So what are some of the times or the only time we would need to boost a car? Does anybody know, any of you kids know? What goes dead? What in our vehicle goes dead? I think somebody said the battery.
I think you're right.
I heard battery.
Battery.
Yeah. So if our battery goes dead, and as you can see from our lot, we have all these vehicles out here that sometimes have to sit in cold weather, okay, over winter, and the battery does go dead. And sometimes at home, your vehicle battery can go dead as well. For people that store vehicles over the winter, so summer, winter vehicles, some vehicle that's been sitting too long, those batteries do need a boost. So today, these gentlemen are going to show you how to do that. So where are we going to start?
Well, the first thing we're going to do, Mike, is we're going to talk about a few of the safety things that you need to worry about before you boost your vehicle. Now, the first thing, obviously, you want to make sure that your vehicle isn't in an area where if you're working on it, you're going to get sideswiped by another vehicle. If you are on the road and you have to boost the vehicle, if you have them, make sure you put out the safety cones to the front and the rear, and if you can have the hazard lights on as well, put those on. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use the booster pack, and we're going to boost this 2019 GMC Terrain. So, who can tell me where the battery is located? Anyone? Somebody say under the hood? All right, so I'm going to pop the hood. Now the latch for popping the hood is inside the driver's compartment, and you reach down under the steering wheel, and there's a latch there, you pull it. I'm going to pull that latch, Frank's going to open up the hood, and he's going to show you where the battery is and explain to you the positive and negative terminals on the battery.
Awesome. So you noticed here how they've parked the two vehicles, right? So we have to get them close because our battery cables are only so long. So we're going to show you two different scenarios, one being when you have another vehicle to boost, and two being when there isn't another vehicle you can use, something else you can use at home that we encourage you guys to have on hand. So let's see what they're working on here.
Okay, boys and girls, so what we're going to do the booster pack first. This little gadget here, it will allow you to boost the vehicle, but now you just remember there is a plus sign and a minus sign. What does that mean on a battery? Does anybody know? What do you think, Matt?
I think it's one's positive, one's negative.
Yes. So now if you look at your battery covers, you got a plus sign, which is a positive. You lift this little latch up like this, so I don't make sure I don't break it. There you go. There's your little terminal. Now on this side, the black one is the negative. Negative is always the one that's exposed. The positive is always covered. So now if you look at your booster pack, you see the positive here is red, which matches the plus sign over here that's red. So you line them up together. Grab these. Always have the negative in the pack. Do not take it out yet. You put this on, okay? There we go.
So we've hooked up our positive.
Hooked up the positive.
Now we're going to look for the ground.
Now we're going to look for, you can either use a little screw here, or you go right to the terminal. And you connect it, whoops, like that.
Oh.
Okay, so now,
Okay, so now what I'm going to do, kids, now that he's got that connected, I'm going to jump in the vehicle, I'm going to push the start button and see if this GMC Terrain starts up. So here I am in the vehicle. Just down here, just out of your view, is the start button. You can see my finger on it right there. I'm going to put my foot on the brake. And just like that, it starts. As soon as it started, Frank is going to disconnect the two terminals.
Awesome. So we took that.
I just disconnected the terminals. I took the negative off first, and then the positive. But just make sure, even on the booster pack, do not touch these ends together, because it will spark. Okay, so be careful of that. And that's how the booster pack works.
Awesome. So thanks for the first demo. So just to recap, in that scenario, we used a booster pack. And to reiterate what Frank just said, we never want to touch the red and the black together. Okay, so red is for our trivia question. Does everybody remember what Frank said? Red and the plus sign mean, it starts with a P, positive. That's right. And the black, okay, and the negative sign stands for what? It starts with an N. Sorry, I think I said it. Negative. So red is positive, black is negative. And we never, always remember, we never want to touch those together. Okay? Because that would give you a spark. Okay? So next, what are we going to be doing?
So the next thing we're going to be doing, Mike, is we're going to use the jumper cables. So kids, as you can see, we know that in this vehicle, the battery is up on the left-hand side if we're sitting in the driver's seat. Okay, so we want to make sure we get the other vehicle as close to there as we can. That way we're not stretching the cables too much. We're not putting undue pressure on anything. Everything's nice and accessible. So if you look right now, you see Frank is laying two pieces of rag on the fenders. The reason we do that is when we have the cables attached, we don't have them damaging, scratching the bodywork. So it protects the bodywork, the paintwork on the vehicle. Okay. Now, on the jumper cables. Okay, there's two ends. So you've got this end with a, what type of connection? What one's the red one? So you've got the positive with the red handles, and you've got the black with the black handles. On the other end, you have the same thing. Okay, now these, they're under spring tension. So if you're playing with them, make sure you don't get your digits stuck in there, because you're going to do some damage to your finger. Okay? The rubber pieces, make sure they're up nice and tight, snug on there. Again, that stops the metal from touching the metal and creating the sparks. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the vehicle that has the power, and we're going to hook up that vehicle, and Frank's going to do that now.
Okay. So same setup as before.
Just as before. You got the positive here. There it is. Here's your positive. Now remember, kids, once you hook up, okay, do not let this one touch that one. Okay, and when Matthew has the other ones, he has to make sure that those ends don't touch, because he will get zapped. So now I got this hooked up. Now we just have to go to this vehicle, okay, and do the same thing.
There you go, Frank.
Now on this one, again, red. What's red? With that little plus sign. Same thing. Again, we want to make sure that we have all the ends separate. They're not touching. So you want to go around the other way, Jim?
Okay, Jim, you just want to get in there and you can show them a better view of where the start button is.
Good to go?
Good to go.
Foot on the brake.
Okay, foot's on the brake, and Jim's now going to start the vehicle, see if we've got power. Hey, and just like that, it started up. Okay, if you look at the dash, it also tells us that the hood is open. So one of the big things is, before you start driving down the road, make sure you put that hood down. Otherwise, you're not going to see anything. Thanks, Frankie.
Shut it off.
Yep.
Awesome. So again, we took both these off the battery. Okay, now they're not live anymore, so they can touch together when we put them away.
But remember one thing, kids. If you're by yourself and you're disconnecting one vehicle and the other one is still connected, just do this. Clamp it on to the wire so they're not touching each other. Drop this to the ground and then go unplug the other ones. Disconnect.
Excellent little trick if you're by yourself. So again, Matthew, do you want to recap what we did here today?
Okay, so team, we used the booster pack, connected the positive cable to the positive terminal and the negative to the negative, and we started the vehicle. We then used the booster cables, jumper cables. We did the same thing. Now, one last piece of safety advice. When it's time to put the hood down and you're helping mom or dad, make sure when they go to lower the hood, you don't have your fingers anywhere near here. All right? Let mom and dad know that you've stepped away from the vehicle. They can then close the hood without getting your fingers in there. Because if they get stuck, well, it's going to hurt quite a bit. All right? And that is boosting a vehicle.
Wonderful. Well, a big thank you to Matt and Frank for showing us today. So very important, like the guy said, to make sure that those ends never touch together. Okay, that's one big takeaway. And like Frank said, if you're by yourself, just clip it on your wire and put it down on the ground. Good idea to carry booster cables around. So make sure when this video's over, you ask your mom and dad if they have a set of booster cables, because you never know when you're going to need them. And sometimes somebody needs a favor. They come up and they say, can we get a boost, right? Obviously, it's handy to have a set of booster cables laying around. So a big thanks to the guys again today for showing us how to boost a vehicle with a dead battery. Now make sure that if your battery has been dead for a while and you do boost it, sometimes when you shut it off again, it may need another boost, okay? Or you may need a new battery, so keep that in mind. So we want to thank you very much for joining us today. We hope you had fun. I sure know the guys did, okay? Again, we are working on another contest. We want to remind you that yesterday, we did end up giving away a Toys R Us gift card for our walk around salesman video, and Matthew's just putting the finishing touches on another contest that we hope we can announce to you tomorrow. And I think it's something about building something at home, isn't it?
Now, once again, Mike, we're going to be looking at your technical skill, working with mom and dad, and you're going to be building us something, and details will be out on that tomorrow.
Wonderful. So stay tuned for that. So again, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for staying home and keeping everybody safe. We will see you back tomorrow at 2 p.m. Thank you very much.